Hi, folks. This is Mountain Man coming to you from parts unknown. How is everyone tonight? We got a flashback to Harry Truman. Harry S. Truman, thank you very much. You can't get rich in politics unless you're a crook. And he did say that. And he was prone to cussing, don't you know? Now, I'm simulcasting on Bumble, and I hope my stream is coming through smoothly. And I'll play a couple of videos while we get people coming in just for giggles. And, you know, what comes before the word giggles, I won't say it. But anyway, this is a video I had the other day. I might as well play it. And we'll go from there. We got a lot of stuff going on.
Has every past president for the last 20 years known about this corruption with USAID and just chose not to do anything about it?
Well, most of them are on the take. Joe Biden was the head of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee, which directly oversees USAID. USAID was funding Burisma. USAID gave money to Burisma and had a formal partnership agreement with Burisma. Barack Obama's mother worked for USAID. The Bush family runs right through it. Bush's, Vice President Dick Cheney, Liz Cheney worked for USAID. They're all in on it. And this is the reason that the Trump revolution was so revolutionary, is because it defeated both sides of the USAID snake. And now we're going to see just exactly how the snake bites back when it's cornered.
Yeah, how's the deep state going to fight back when it's cornered? I guess we're going to find out real soon, aren't we? I got another little video here. Let me see. I want to play for you all. Give you some laughs. I mean, what's life without a few laughs, right? Whoa. I got to get my mic cut off.
57% of voters have an unfavorable view of the party.
I haven't seen people so aroused in a very, very long time.
Get in touch with your inner scrappy little dyke. Shut down the Senate. Shut down the Senate. Shut down the Senate. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
We don't pledge allegiance to Elon Musk.
What do we need?
When we have a gender non-binary candidate or officer, the non-binary individual is counted as neither male nor female.
Feels like a complicated algebra problem.
Are you supportive of these onesies?
We will win. We will win. We will win. We won't rest. We won't rest.
Gretchen.
Yes,
So
they need
can we
the
play
Democrats.
it again?
Running out of gas. That's if they ever had gas in the tank in the first place. So let me see who else coming in tonight in the utensil side. I says Sherry, Colette, David, Robin. Nice to see you, Darla, Cliff. Nice to see you all. So on my Bumble side over on Rumble, if you all want to leave some chats, I can review them afterwards. Did you know that? So, make some friends in chats, and hopefully we'll get to where we can have them, where I'm able to view them both simultaneously. And I think it's just another grant from USAID probably that does not allow Rumble to be able to participate as other platforms are. But we'll work around it. J.D. Vance, he gave a good speech. Did you all hear about it? He went to Germany and rattled their cages. We'll get to that. I'll play some clips from him. But I want to tell you all a happy Valentine's Day. We've got deadlines coming. Here you go. Heck yeah, I voted for this, and it's better than I expected. And Flannel Cheese, how you doing? Brush, how you doing? Reporting for education. Angela, nice to see you. Rebecca's here. Marie, nice to see you all. Robin's here. Colette, who did I leave out? Nobody? All right, looks like I'm getting everybody. That's good. So anyway, yeah, you might want to put this little meme on your take a screenshot and put it on your Meta. Hi, Benjamin. How you doing? Oh, we've only, okay. Let me see. I'm playing around with the screen here, trying to keep track of everything. Hi, Todd. Nice to see you. LMC. Welcome aboard. Nice to meet you. So, sounds good. Now, I think we had a kind of a lefty in or somebody sitting on the other side the other day, but he didn't want to have a conversation. So anyway, we try. Happy Valentine's Day from the White House. Says right up there, Happy Valentine's Day. Roses are red, violets are blue. Come here illegally and we'll deport you. Then, of course, you see my red dots in the upper corner there where I took that letter out. Please don't put it in the chats. But this was 2019 on this day. The Punisher. Hey, that looks like Mr. T's shirt, doesn't it? Doesn't that look like what's on Mr. T's shirt? Ha ha ha. Everything has a reason. All right, there's a reason for every season. So anyway, let's see. Who is this judge? This latest judge. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, they're scraping the bottom of the barrel. They're scraping the bottom of the barrel. They've got, I don't know how many challenges out. What's this one here? What's this one here? Mr. T. Judges pause Trump's order restricting gender-affirming care for trans youth. See how they, that's ABC. See how they distort the news and they use it under science, paid off doctors to use these weirdo terms, gender-affirming. We have to affirm your gender by cutting off your doodle. Okay, that makes sense. But anyway, all that crap is going to get thrown out. But it's like Mr. T said that they tried to take away the momentum. But nothing is going to stop what is coming. Here's a funny little meme you might want to put on your Meta page. Let me see if I can. You have to crop it a little bit, Anyway, White House lunch menu. Bobby Kennedy sitting there looking at it. Hi, Miss Sue. Hi, Tracy. Nice to see you. Yes, they should see jail. I agree. Simpson. Long time no see. Let's see. I'm just shooting through the chats real quick. But anyway, now let's see what's the next thing I want to show. We got a couple of things thrown out there that make you go, AOC, she got up and babbled about, put up a video giving people advice on how to not cooperate. Now, let me tell you, I saw somebody on one of the news services saying, well, it's nothing wrong with telling people their rights. If you're here with some kind of temporary basis, I'm sure in that paperwork somewhere it says that you have to cooperate with law enforcement. You don't have a cut and dry Fifth Amendment right. If you're here or you're a criminal, you're not subject to our laws. You're not subject to our jurisdiction. You haven't subjugated yourself to our jurisdiction. Okay? The person could be an unlawful combatant. It could be an invader. It could be a drug dealer, something like that. If they're not a citizen and they're not here under some form of approval, whether it's granted asylum and you got to show up on a certain court date, that's one thing. But if you're here, just here, and not supposed to be, How does it apply? How does the Fifth Amendment apply to you? And if you sign something that says you agree to cooperate with law enforcement and not to break our laws, you're under heavier scrutiny. So anyway, speaking of which, this one here put out a podcast, and she or a video. I mean, she was on video speaking in her native tongue, and I tell you, this guttural, the sound of it, and telling people how to not cooperate. And with AOC, Tom Homan said he's going to talk to Pam Bondi and refer the situation up to the Justice Department with AOC. Now, she's a Brooklyn girl and used to be a bartender and all this. I don't know what they're going to do with that little Miss Somalia here. And Marjorie Taylor Greene went on the floor of the House to have her censured. And you know what I was talking about when Adam Schiff got censured? I said they have to go into the well of the House and be reprimanded. And it happened with, I forget his name right now, but an old congressman out of New York. I got an image of him, and he was dressed down in the well of the House, and publicly, and I never saw that with Adam Schiff. I don't know how they got away with that. How you doing, television shows? Prototype, how you doing? Nice to see you. Well, yeah, jail, but then send them home. Redhausen, how you doing? Shine Dixie, how you doing? Nice to see you. Lone Wolf made it in. All right. So, here she is. Somebody came up and said she needs to go. Here it is. I got a screenshot of it. Congressman Brandon Gill. We should have never let Ilhan Omar into our country. She came in when she was 17. Now, what first-generation immigrant comes in as a punk kid, 17 years old, hits the ground running to run for Congress? Like I've said before, and I won't wear it out, but 435 people in Congress, and we got at least two of them that are somewhat legal migrants, but we could do better, out of 370, 80 million people. Why do we have to have people that jump off their boat or plane or whatever and end up telling us what to do and how to live our lives? Speaking of which, the latest judge they pulled out of the woodpile, get this. Here he is, Amir Ali. Amir Ali. Where's he from? I'll tell you where he's from. Where they say he's from. He is telling President Trump that he can't do what he's doing, and he's putting on temporary restraining order. Age 85. Or born in 1985, age 40 years, born in Canada. He went to Harvard Law School, that nest of Marxists and Bolsheviks. Amir Hatim Mahdi Ali is a Canadian-American, a dual citizen. Oh, I see. And he's a federal judge, lawyer and academic who is serving as a United States District Judge from the United States District Court for the District of Columbia, a swamp creature. Now, his story is Joe Biden put him up for nomination. It was, the vote was, I believe, 50 to 49. And one Republican didn't show up to vote. I forget his name. Senator Brown Nose or something like that, but he was a Republican. If anybody knows in the chats what his name was. And Kamala, you know, I want to get it right. I don't want to say people's names wrong. Kamala was in Hawaii on a vacation. So if this idiot Republican senator had been there, it would have been a 50-50 tie. Kamala wouldn't have been there to break the tie, and he would have never been approved. I don't know what the hell. There's a guy from Canada with dual citizenship, born in Canada, on a federal bench in the nation's capital, interfering with a duly elected president's agenda. That every scholar that's looking at this is saying they're out of bounds, out of bounds. So who we're seeing in the limelight now that's been laying low? We're seeing Rashida Tlaib, or she's being talked out about by Ilhan Omar. We got Ilhan Omar. We got AOC. All the Marxists are popping their heads out of the ground. And just like that video I played earlier, nobody can make heads or tails of what they're saying. Now, here's this idiot. Right, you know, maybe he's gathering information. I doubt it, though. I doubt it. I pulled this up tonight before I went live. Here he is. It is. What's his alliances? Is he a Muslim? And then Islam? I don't know. That's not compatible with the Constitution. If they're a true believer. Appointed by Joe Biden, preceded by Beryl Howell, another jewel. Born Amir Hatim Mahdi. They don't even give the date of his birth. They say he's aged somewhere between 39 and 40. What do you think of that? What do you make of that? Did you ever go to WikiLeaks before? They would say their previous position, what they were, and how long they held that term or that office or their law practice or something. They would say father, such and such name, mother, such and such name. You don't see any of that here. You don't even see a birth date. University of Waterloo and Harvard University. He assumed office November 22nd, 2024. A mere 2 weeks or so after the election, thanks to that goofball Republican who needs to have his rear end thrown out of office. Unless this is all a setup, I don't know. So then I checked it a little bit more. Oh, and so when you're looking at the WikiLeaks, you can, whatever this is called, Wikipedia. You can usually go down and it'll say professional life, early life, family life, stuff like that. No, not this. Not this. What does it say? Education. Click on that. You don't get squat. Career. You don't get squat. To let you know anything about his real background. Federal Judicial Service references. But look at the very bottom. Last edited 11 hours ago by somebody named Codename. Codename. So who went in there and edited it? And what did they take out, or what did they put in, or what did they dust up or polish up? Who's Codename? And how are they, on the list of people who can go in and piddle with Wikipedia. Here you go. Democrats vow to fight Doge by wasting even more money than ever. Ha ha ha. Let me shrink that down in case you want to get a screenshot of that. That's from the Babylon Bee. Yeah, they're making themselves look like idiots. Hi, Melinda. Nice to see you, Gloria. Nice to see you, Pappy Two Bears. New insight. Yeah, whack-a-mole. Stanton's here. Let's see, Ronald's here. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, I'm just scrolling through. Let's see. So anyway, let's see if I want to play a video. Did you see Trump when he was signing his Reciprocal Trade Act? And you know that Caitlin, what's-her-face from CNN? She tries to start the ball off with every question. Are you going to feel bad if the tariffs make prices go up? What's going on with the price of eggs? Stupid questions. Trump is just making fun of her all the time. But before she gets to start, Trump is signing, and he's going to show the executive order, let everybody take their pictures. She starts barking out a question. Watch what he does to her. Ha, ha, ha.
Oh, that's a good one.
Mr. President, you won the White House in part because of high inflation. If your tariffs make prices go up...
Excuse me, we haven't asked you to speak yet, please. Right?
Nobody's asked you to speak yet. That's the way it ought to be. That's the way it ought to be. I got a couple of videos of lucky guys. You all want to see some lucky guys videos? Here's a guy. This is a lucky guy. Here's a guy escapes. This isn't the real lucky guy. I got another lucky guy. But I'm going to put this one up first. Man escapes debris flow, pushes car into ocean near Los Angeles. A mudslide. And that stuff, you watch this, it's shoving that car around like a toy. And you're thinking, how can somebody get out of that and safely get to shore? It's like a thriller, But I'll go ahead and play it. I guess at the beginning it was a big, heavy mudslide, and then once it calmed down, he was able to just walk away. How lucky is that? I mean, if he could have got himself in some big trouble there. I was surprised how easily he walked away. Did you notice the badge he had on his shoulder? He's some kind of policeman or security guard. But let me find a real lucky guy. Where is that video? Man, I'm telling you what. This video, do you all remember in the chats, somebody named Nasrallah? I'm going to play this video twice. Who remembers the name Nasrallah? The story on this guy, Nasrallah, was that they were in a bunker. Everybody remembers they said 17 stories below the ground. And Israel sent a missile that penetrated the bunker. And just before Trump announced the deadline that he was going to let Israel do as they thought best, which is tomorrow. Just before the deadline, Trump set the deadline, Israel released this video of the missile that hit Nasrallah and penetrated the bunker. This is in Iran and went down 17 stories, they say, and eliminated the person. But you see that scooter in the middle? This is unbelievable. Let me play this for you. You'll see the luckiest guy on that day, at least. The guy came out and got on a scooter and drove away. Oh, I didn't want that screen to go dark. I wanted to explain something to you all. I'm going to play it again now. The thing about this, when you see the smoke clear, you see the crater that was left there. All the damage is below, way down below ground. That thing had a hardened tip on it where it pierced the ground. When it hits, you'll see a secondary flash through the smoke. That is when the bomb finally reached a depth and exploded and heaved the ground up. But the motorcycle, to be that close to something that powerful and not even get blown against the building or torn to pieces. But watch that red flash about a second after that bomb penetrates the street and goes way down underground. Did you see that red flash? And it picked that car up off the ground. And I thought that was the end of it. And I was waiting for the smoke to clear so I could see. And I said, what's that motorcycle still doing there? And the smoke clears and you see a hole in the street. But the damage below was massive. And then, of course, this guy comes. I guess he had to go catch some cannolis or whatever they get over there in Iran. I don't know. Some hummus or something. Bring home to the wife. And he just takes off. And that's the end of the story. That's the luckiest guy on that particular day. I'll tell you that. Yeah, that Beamer jumped up in the air. Let's see. And the moped didn't even get. Yeah, the moped was. I guess it came at an angle and the explosion was more underneath the Beamer than it was at the entry point. So anyway, that was pretty wild. I'm not going to play that video of Ilhan Omar talking her native language. It's just gross. I don't like it. Oh, here's Senator Kennedy wishing everybody a happy Valentine's Day. Did you all see this? It's nice of him to think of everybody on Valentine's Day. I think it's a nice thing.
Folks, I believe that love is the answer, but you ought to own a handgun just in case.
Happy Valentine's Day. Rugs on the wall. That's just the way they do. Well, some people call them tapestries. And, you know, a lot of those things, especially if you find American Indian blankets from way back in the day, I mean, you can find them 100 years old from the 1960s and things like that. Worth a lot of money. True Native American craft blankets or rugs that they used to do. My mother was very interested in collecting jewelry and artwork and folk art from all different cultures, you know, so yeah, that's why they hang them on the wall, because they are folk art, really. But anyway, it is time for me to play. Here is the video where, look at James Carville. Lizardhead himself. The man with all the answers. He's the one that came up with it's the economy, stupid, during the Clinton administration. He's overwhelmed. He's a creep. But here he is talking to one of his liberal dopey friends, trying to talk about how they can strategize out of this Trumpian wave that's coming.
Don't forget Rod McGovern. Trump is a criminal. Criminals like to be around other criminals.
And a mob boss.
Yeah. Bannon is right. We are flooded in shit. And we are searching for a way to deal with this. These are extraordinarily difficult times. And he just keeps moving with one stupid thing after another. Maybe some of our I'm struggling here a little bit, so maybe some of our really smart viewers can help us untangle a little bit. It's really tangled now because no one knows where to land. It's all too incomprehensible. We're getting overwhelmed, and things that we thought that would kill a political career, that would be poisonous for whatever reason, this guy keeps chugging along.
This guy keeps chugging along. Things we thought would destroy a political career. Yeah, your setups, your lies and your slander and your libel. But how do you start that off? He's saying criminals like other criminals. Oh, I would like very few things more than James Carville to get slapped with a good lawsuit from one of Elon's attorneys, or those young men that are working at Doge, if he steps out of line and says something that is libelous or desultory slander or something like that. Oh, yes, it would be wonderful. Let's see, I had a good video from about Tom Massey. Where is he at? Talking about if these people that set up the narrative to influence the election, and they're using our money. Is it the big T word, as in treason? So, where is that? Where is that? I'll find it. Well, I don't know if I can or not. I don't want to play the wrong clip. Here it is. Here it is. right here. Right here. Representative Thomas Massey. Borderline treason for taxpayers to fund undermining of government they elected. This was on 2/12/25. Let me go ahead and play this for you.
Mr. Schellenberger, can you explain how you traced USAID funding that served as the basis for whistleblower report in 2019, which led to the impeachment of President Trump?
Sure. Well, you may remember that the so-called whistleblowers in the White House was actually a CIA analyst. And in that whistleblower's complaint, which led to the impeachment, one of the central pieces of evidence was created by a USAID funded and controlled organization called the OCCRP. And we have another piece out today about how it participated in the Russiagate hoax as well, creating essentially very important information leading to that. So, I mean, you have in USAID a much larger fund of money and a much broader strategy for information control that included censorship, but also, as I mentioned, taking control of investigative journalism really worldwide. I mean, its ambitions were, amazing. So, yeah, I mean, that's an agency. When we saw that get shut down by DOJ, I thought that was completely appropriate. If there's something in there that it was doing that's valuable, then you could refund it later. But my view, same thing with CISA, death penalty for organizations that participated in violations of the First Amendment like CISA. Cybersecurity is an extremely important function. It shouldn't be contaminated and undermined by censorship activities.
Well, I think it's always been known that our government has funded the change in administrations, if we can say it politely, of other governments. But isn't it borderline treason when the taxpayer when organizations entrusted with protecting our country are now undermining our own government?
Absolutely. I mean, if you're trying to do regime change, illegal, if you're weaponizing DHS, FBI, CISA, that's treasonous regime change activities redirected, that you developed abroad, that we developed abroad for regime change, directed against the American people and our representatives. I mean, it's shocking, and we still haven't dealt with it as a country.
Mr. Chairman, I see my time has expired. I'd like to introduce into the record, or ask unanimous consent to introduce into the record, an article in Newsmax, Schellenberger, USAID paid for Trump impeachment effort, dated February 6, 2025.
Without objection.
Yeah, USAIDs financed the impeachment effort, got the choir to sing together, the deep state choir. So let me see what's going on. Yeah, they're gone. They're off balance and making idiots of themselves. And I want to play some nice young lady videos, because there are nice young ladies out there. Here's a little bit of advice from a young lady to the Democrat Party, just so the narrative that formerly liberal women have hope, and that not all liberal women are hopeless, okay? And we know our conservative women are strong, and they've been strong for the past 10 years. But here's people that are waking up.
Y'all seen them Democrats out there making up nursery rhyme songs because they lose? It's like, let it go. I've never seen a pack of grown, older, elderly people trying so hard to suppress and oppress a bunch of people that they don't even like anyway. You don't even like us. Y'all never had our best interest, so why do y'all feel so compelled to continue on with this charade? Let it go. The people have spoken. The Republicans got the House and the Senate. We don't want you Democrats in control of anything. You have shown that you are incompetent and that you do not value the American people. So let that be your termination letter right there. You didn't want to do the job. You got hired to do a job. You didn't want to do it. So you fired in the voice of Donald Trump. So let that be that. Y'all embarrassing yourself. Y'all are going out real bad. Take y'all depend, medication having asses that y'all be trying to force on us and go sit down somewhere.
Go sit down somewhere. Now, here's another nice young lady. We got to have a break from all the cuckoos and have some nice young ladies. Let me see what this one's got to say. I try to find ones without rough language, but I tell you, when people wake up and they find out how much they've been deceived and how much they've been screwed over, sometimes they can't help but cuss. But anyway, I find some good ones anyway.
If you have anything negative to say against Elon Musk and Doge doing a federal audit, then I've officially decided that you are a part of the money laundering. It's as simple as that. Because we the people deserve to know where all of our money is being spent and what ridiculous spending programs our government is wastefully spending all of our money on. It's not like we get to pick our own salaries like people in Congress. But no, these people have an issue with that, which makes you wonder, who's funding them? What are they doing? They're starting to sweat. And you know what I just found out today? Doge is getting access to FEMA's salary history. And I am so freaking excited. Stay tuned, everybody, because shit's about to get real. And also, if you really wanted to know where all of our tax dollars are being spent to at this point, you could just tell me the federal government spent millions of dollars to figure out whether or not Thanos could actually snap the Infinity Gauntlet, and I would believe you. Oh, wait! They actually did that. They also spent money on trying to do trans surgeries for various animals, torturing poor innocent beagle puppies, and spending $4 billion of U.S. aid on all kinds of stuff with a certain gray-haired man named Fauci. Excuse me. I'm so sorry. But anyway, I am so excited. This is great. This is absolutely fantastic. The federal government 110% deserves to be audited because the American people have to deal with you guys up our ass 24/7. It is about time that you felt a little bit of the repercussions of when you F around, you find out. And finally, we have someone who's willing to go put their money where their mouth is. So I can't wait to watch the Super Bowl tomorrow because we're going to see Super Bowl commercials that Elon Musk paid for himself with $40 million to show all of us how the government is ridiculously spending their money. Oh, sorry, our money. Because, like hell, any of them actually have a real job. But anyway, this is so exciting.
But it's a shame that 40 million Super Bowl money turned out to be not true. So, but she's excited because she knows people are going to start shaking in their boots. I had one woman, I said to myself, well, where is she? I said, wow, this is going to be a kook. Oh, I don't think I pulled her into my studio. But she turned out to be not as bad as I thought. Or maybe she was. Let me go out of my studio and find her. Oh, here she is. Who was that? Somebody said it was somebody looked like Edna out of The Incredibles. Somebody, who said that in the chat? Somebody said Edna out of The Incredibles. And then this video came up. Wait, let me get my headphones on so I can hear what's being said. Some of these videos, I got to have my earbuds in. I call them headphones. I don't know. What do I know? I'm just an old man with a phone. But anyway, yeah, there we go. Here comes Edna. You would think, looking at her, uh-oh, here we go. But let her have her say.
Not a huge fan of Trump. I'm even less of a fan of Elon Musk. But I have to tell you, but what we're learning right now about how these funds that were supposed to be used for like development in these nations we're finding out that they've been funneled to our congressman. Chelsea Clinton's wedding? Are you kidding me? And why does Saudi Arabia need Sesame Street? I don't get it. And that's like the least of it to me. That one I'm like, okay, maybe we can make sense of that one. But what is going on right now and what is being uncovered, I think, is the exact thing that the Congress has been scared of and why they want to ban TikTok. Because everyone on TikTok has been talking about shit like this. And this is not one party. This is bipartisan. This is the Republicans and the Democrats. They are all misappropriating our taxpayer money. I'm not going to be afraid to come out here and tell you how I feel about that. And I know because I just said that, so many of you are going to unfollow me. That's okay. what they're discovering with these funds in our Congress, I am here for it. Never liked Musk better.
So that was a pleasant surprise, wouldn't you say? With her looking like Edna, I thought we had a problem. But oh, wait a minute, my screen's blank. Let me do something about that. Let's see. What do I want up on the screen? I will find something else to put on the screen. Do you all stick with me now? Here we go. There we go. From now on, money laundering will be called foreign aid. So anyway, I have a couple of more nice people. You know, it's better that it's a break from watching all the freaks. And she might have looked a little bit like Edna, but she started off saying, I'm no fan of Trump. Oh, I'm sorry I got to do this to you all. I got to take a break from the nice young ladies. But like we just learned, don't judge a book by its cover. I don't know. Tell me what you think after I play it. Is this person hopeless? I would say, well, you decide.
Shine till revolution comes, I'm gonna let it shine. Shine till revolution comes, I'm gonna let it shine. Shine till revolution comes, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
You know, I was really going to do you all dirty. I was going to expand the video right when she kissed the camera. You know, that was hard to handle, but I'm going to give you all a flashback. Here's a flashback. Do you all remember this young lady right here? I thought she was a newscaster. Do you all remember this big day? This was just before the election or right after, and everybody saying, oh, the Brazilian, even the news on, anyway, whatever. Let me play it, see if you all remember this. Actually, it's Greek television. And I wonder if you all remember this. Everybody was saying, oh, man. But I'll probably get a copyright. If you tune in after the live stream, and what it is a lady on Greek television doing the Trump dance to Y and an MCA, in case I do have to take it down. But it turns out she is a member of parliament in Greece. And she talks fast now. Y'all got to pay attention. I know you all like to listen to me sometimes while you're doing other things. I mean, that's the way I listen to podcasts too, myself. But this is not in native language, but they do have subtitles. But like I say, she talks fast. So you got to keep up with her.
Σοβαρά, κυρίες και κύριοι, η δεξιά κατέστρεψε τη βιομηχανία. Η δεξιά έκανε είδωλο την Γκρέτα Τούνμπεργκ. Η δεξιά επέβαλε την πράσινη ενέργεια σε βάρος της βιομηχανίας που κατέστρεψε την ανταγωνιστικότητα της Ευρωπαϊκής Ένωσης. Ή οι σοσιαλιστικές κυβερνήσεις που 50 χρόνια κυβερνούν την Ευρωπαϊκή Ένωση. Γαλλία, Ιταλία, Γερμανία, Ισπανία, αλλά και η πατρίδα μου η Ελλάδα καταστράφηκαν από ανερμάτιστες σοσιαλιστικές πολιτικές. Και έχετε σήμερα το θράσος εσείς, η καταστροφή της Ευρώπης, να μας κουνάτε το δάχτυλο πως οι συντηρητικοί είμαστε απειλή για την Ευρώπη. Γελάω. Πραγματικά γελάω. Όπως σοφά είπε η Μάργαρετ Θάτσερ, το πρόβλημα με το σοσιαλισμό είναι πως τελειώνει όταν τελειώσουν τα χρήματα των άλλων. Αφήστε λοιπόν τα φαντάσματα περί δίθεν ακροδεξιάς και εφαρμόστε φιλελεύθερες οικονομικές πολιτικές. Μειώστε τους φόρους, αυξήστε την ανταγωνιστικότητα, επαναφέρετε τα πλαστικά καλαμάκια, αφήστε το λιγνίτη ήσυχο, επενδύστε στη βιομηχανία και κυρίως δεχτείτε την πραγματικότητα. Αποτύχατε. Ακολουθήστε αυτά που σας λέμε πριν να είναι αργά. Γιατί είμαστε το αύριο και είσαστε το χθες.
Yeah, that was the same one who did the Trump dance on TV. And she called them all out, all the liberals. She said, I laugh when you say it's our fault. You're the ones who want to listen to Greta Thunberg and not somebody like Margaret Thatcher. How many times have you all heard me talk about the Iron Triumvirate? Ronald Reagan, Margaret Thatcher, and Pope John Paul II. So anyway, and you've heard me in the past, many of you who've been with my broadcast for a while have heard me say many times, I have compared what they have been doing since the late 90s, early 2000s and onward is cultivating what I called commissars in local governments, right? I told you all the story about how I had a friend that I knew her father very well. And back in 2019, she was grumping about Trump out of the blue. And I said, I don't think he's that bad. I think he's going to turn out okay. And I never saw her or heard from her again. But I said, he's going to take care of problems that have been coming out of Brussels for 1,000 years. I remember saying that. But anyway, keeping that in mind, I got a video of J.D. Vance with his epic. I've got a couple of clips, but I want to play this first one because listen to what he says at the beginning. Brussels and commissars. I couldn't believe it, but I really do believe it. But I'll play it. Let's go. Let me cut my mic off.
I look to Brussels, where EU commissars warn citizens that they intend to shut down social media during times of civil unrest the moment they spot what they've judged to be, quote, hateful content. Or to this very country, where police have carried out raids against citizens suspected of posting anti-feminist comments online as part of, quote, combating misogyny on the internet, a day of action. I look to Sweden, where 2 weeks ago the government convicted a Christian activist for participating in Koran burnings that resulted in his friend's murder. And as the judge in his case chillingly noted, Sweden's laws to supposedly protect free expression do not, in fact, grant, and I'm quoting, a free pass to do or say anything without risking offending the group that holds that belief. And perhaps most concerningly, I look to our very dear friends, the United Kingdom, where the backslide away from conscience rights has placed the basic liberties of religious Britons in particular in the crosshairs. A little over 2 years ago, the British government charged Adam Smith Connor, a 51-year-old physiotherapist and an Army veteran, with the heinous crime of standing 50 meters from an abortion clinic and silently praying for 3 minutes. Not obstructing anyone, not interacting with anyone, just silently praying on his own. And after British law enforcement spotted him and demanded to know what he was praying for, Adam replied simply, it was on behalf of the unborn son he and his former girlfriend had aborted years before. Now, the officers were not moved. Adam was found guilty of breaking the government's new buffer zones law, which criminalizes silent prayer and other actions that could influence a person's decision within 200 meters of an abortion facility. He was sentenced to pay thousands of pounds in legal costs to the prosecution. Now, I wish I could say that this was a fluke, a one-off crazy example of a badly written law being enacted against a single person. But no, this last October, just a few months ago, the Scottish government began distributing letters to citizens whose houses lay within so-called safe access zones. warning them that even private prayer within their own homes may amount to breaking the law. Naturally, the government urged readers to report any fellow citizen suspected guilty of thought crime. In Britain and across Europe, free speech, I fear, is in retreat.
Yes, and the underlying message to these people are, with the term commissars, I guarantee you that term was like a smack in the face to them people, because it brings back memories, okay? Memories of WW2, of Stalinism, Lenin, then the Bolshevik Revolution, and pointing a finger right at them. They're going to have a problem with America if they are going to abuse their citizens for thought crimes. Tariffs are not going to be based solely on how much they charge us or whatever. It's how you treat your own damn people. Speaking of that, here he is talking about mass migration. He comes out and tells them it's obvious that this was done purposefully, okay? Purposefully by the people in power to harm the citizens.
Like who gets to be a part of our shared society. And of all the pressing challenges that the nations represented here face, I believe there is nothing more urgent than mass migration. Today, almost 1 in 5 people living in this country moved here from abroad. That is, of course, an all-time high. It's a similar number, by the way, in the United States, also an all-time high. The number of immigrants who entered the EU from non-EU countries doubled between 2021 and 2022 alone, and of course it's gotten much higher since. And we know this situation, it didn't materialize in a vacuum. It's the result of a series of conscious decisions made by politicians all over the continent and others across the world over the span of a decade. We saw the horrors wrought by these decisions yesterday in this very city. And of course, I can't bring it up again without thinking about the terrible victims who had a beautiful winter day in Munich ruined. Our thoughts and prayers are with them and will remain with them. But why did this happen in the first place? It's a terrible story, but it's one we've heard way too many times in Europe and unfortunately too many times in the United States as well. An asylum seeker, often a young man in his mid-20s, already known to police, rams a car into a crowd and shatters a community. How many times must we suffer these appalling setbacks before we change course and take our shared civilization in a new direction? No voter on this continent went to the ballot box to open the floodgates to millions of unvetted immigrants. But you know what they did vote for? In England, they voted for Brexit, and agree or disagree, they voted for it. And more all over Europe, they're voting for political leaders who promise to put an end to out-of-control migration. Now, I happen to agree with a lot of these concerns, but you don't have to agree with me. I just think that people care about their homes. They care about their dreams.
That's right. That's right, JD. And they did have to sit there and take it. And the other thing is he did not meet with Chancellor Scholz because he said, look, he's going out of office anyway. He didn't like what I had to say. I'm paraphrasing because Scholz gave a speech afterwards, a point, counterpoint. He's going anyway. He's not going to be in office. Why does J.D. Vance have to meet with him? So, yeah, he was lecturing them, and they need to be lectured the way they've been treating their people. Unacceptable. Speaking of unacceptable, here is a young person who actually went up and attacked a priest. Okay. But, you know, it's a short video. You can't really make anything out, but you tell what happens. But I also know that this person probably identifies as a female. But anyway, let me play it. You see what you think of it.
Video right here. According to Father Darren Connell, the gentleman you see right there running up on the stage had been calm and reserved throughout most of the service. This happened just before 6:30 last night. You can see him punch Father David Gaines twice, as far as we can count. In the video, you can hear in the audio, you can hear presumably the father saying, "It's okay, you're all right. It's okay, you're all right." Now you see a bunch of people walking in there to try and get the person off of the father and detain him. In fact, the security guards for the church put him in handcuffs and waited until a Spokane police officer came and arrested him. Thankfully, though, Father David Gaines is okay. He's doing well today, we're told, but a frightening moment for a lot of people in that service last night.
As we were talking about, John, before we came on the air here, no real indication that there was anything wrong. I sat there quiet listening to the service until that moment where you see him make that decision to get up and go up and attack the father.
Yeah, and according to Father Cornell, he had no...
You can go back and hit the rewind on it. But this kid could barely run up the steps. Barely run up the steps. He threw a punch and fell on his fat belly. And he is a product, okay, of a Marxist propaganda machine that's infiltrated Western governments, all right? And in his own mind, he thought he would be some kind of avenger, you know, but he just flopped on his gut and looked like an idiot. But his intent was to harm, okay, a man of the cloth. Hi, Debbie, how you doing? Nice to see you. Nice to see you, Wanda. Nice to see you. So, yeah, we're going to be tamping that down. It's going to be out of favor. Here's another nice girl. Another nice girl moment. And she's saying, leaving the Republican Party versus leaving the Democrat Party. It's a cute little video, I think.
I'm leaving the Republican Party. Okay. May I ask why? I don't agree with the policies anymore, and I'm leaning left. Okay. Well, although we can agree to disagree, I really respect you as a friend. I've enjoyed our friendship, and if you ever want to talk about politics, we can, but we don't have to. Thanks. I appreciate that. Of course. I'm leaving the Democratic Party. Oh, so you're racist, homophobic, a bigot, and a sexist. What? No, I'm still me. It's just, I don't align with your values anymore, and I find myself leaning more conservative. I mean, I never thought I'd say that. Well, we can disagree on politics, but we can't disagree on human values and human rights. I'm still me, the person you've known since 3rd grade, and I really have enjoyed our friendship. Well, last time I checked, I wasn't friends with Nazis.
Yeah, but maybe she should have put on a purple wig, then more people would have checked her out. Because, you know, the liberals need to hear that kind of stuff. But they can tell a conservative they just won't listen. They won't listen. But anyway, she did a nice little video, and so did this young lady here.
Everything that Donald Trump is doing right now at this very moment is precisely why he was nearly assassinated twice. It's precisely why they spent years trying to prosecute him for a misdemeanor paperwork crime that they bumped up to a felony. This is why right here, and I don't understand how it hasn't clicked for y'all. All of this money that you see, $20 million going to make a Sesame Street in Iraq or wherever the fuck. No, it's not. No. Like, these things are not happening, and if they are, they're not taking up nearly as much of the budget as is allotted to it. These people are literally
throwing money at random bullshit, $2 million for sex changes in Guatemala. Get the fuck out of here. No, you're fucking laundering it and you're pocketing it. And you knew that Donald Trump was the one. He was the one. He is the one who is calling out this fucking corruption, this really crazy, serious shit, and actually knocking that shit out. Like, we're not doing that anymore. That's why they wanted him dead, because they lose money, they lose credibility, they get exposed, and they were not going for it. Well, unfortunately for them, bitch, we are awake now. The young ones, the old ones, all of us, like, they really fucking tried. And trying to prosecute him, that really just made everything click even more, because it's like, what the fuck are you doing, bro? He didn't do shit. He didn't do anything as bad as fucking Bill Clinton did. How are y'all not seeing it? How are you not seeing it? Cognitive dissonance is a motherfucker. Y'all hate this man so much, and you don't even really know why. Oh my God. You need to be kissing his ass and saying, thank you, Donald Trump. Fucking thank you for putting your life on the line to fucking save us from ourselves.
Yeah, she is a pretty girl, and it's such a shame. Such a shame that she's got such a filthy mouth, because her message would be much more powerful if she would have refrained from that kind of language. That's my own opinion. And I should have put a language warning on that, but I forgot. I copied that video about 3 days ago, and I didn't get a chance to play it. And I didn't remember how much her mouth was off the rails. But let me tell you something. Here is a video, very short, and it shows you how weak they are, how ridiculous they are. There's somebody named Mr. McBride that gets introduced in the House to give a speech. Watch how Mr. McBride acts.
From Delaware, Mr. McBride for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. When I was elected, I promised to work with anyone who would help Delaware and Delawareans, and to stand up to anyone who seeks to harm my state. Instead of seeking common ground, the Trump administration from day one has waged an unrelenting attack on working people in Delaware and across the country, seeking to freeze funding for first responders, domestic...
Yeah, blah, blah, blah. Mr. McBride, that's the way they were introduced on the floor of the House. Thanks to people like Nancy Mace and Marjorie Taylor Greene, no more of this transgender foolishness on the floor of the House. And he's just got to take it. Just got to take it, because we're getting away from that stuff. And as little as people pay attention to their own elections, how many people know who their House representative is for their state? How many people do know? I'm wondering how many people in Delaware know that Mr. McBride is representing them. So we'll see, because they go up for a re-election every 2 years, I believe. So we'll see what happens next time around to Mr. McBride. So I have got you want to talk about false hope. These morons. Here's another video. I think this is MSDNC. You got a strategist that I'm saying is living in dream world, trying to buck up the troops and get everybody fired up and find a path to victory, and they just look idiotic.
Here's what the other side looks like. We are not the only nation that has had an autocratic takeover. It happened in Poland. It happened in Brazil. It happened where I was ambassador, Czech Republic. All three of those countries got to the other side. They ousted autocratic regimes like Trump and Musk. You know, there's always an oligarch. Right. Whenever you've got a dictator, you've got an oligarch by his side.
Got a money bag.
How can we get to the other side like those countries did and not go the way of Hungary or Turkey, where they never got them out? There's 1,001 things you can do, but we've done a big study, and we know the 7 things you must do, and that's what we're working on. Number 1, defend the rule of law. That's always what these dictators go for. Number 2, protect elections, because that's how you kick them out. Number 3, you have to fight corruption. Number 4, protect pluralism, and on and on. There's a set of 7 things, and the lawsuits we're bringing, I'm planning 100 this year. 100. The lawsuits we're bringing are designed as part of that. And it's starting to work, because you can't do it in the courts of law alone. You need the court of public opinion. And what did we see this week in parallel with our Treasury lawsuit, that first Treasury case? Peaceful protesters for the first time starting to show up at the Treasury building around the country. Members of Congress for the first time starting to come to protests. So you need that. And even the press, so many others have bent the knee. Too many corporate owners of press have bent the knee, kissed the ring, kowtowed. But the press is waking up. I saw some tougher confrontations this week. So you trigger that immune response of the body politic. Wake up, democracy. And that's what's on the other side, is an awakened democracy. Donald Trump and Elon Musk, peaceful. Donald Trump and Elon Musk can't resist that. Here's what the other side.
He's crazy. He's bringing up the protests at the Treasury Department where they look like idiots. This guy's name is Norm Eisen. He's talking about this great big study at the Brookings Institute. Here's all the places we're going to attack. And here's this groundswell coming up, and they're just criminals that we're going to get out of office. Blah, 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 blah. What a bunch of nonsense. And you can tell that dopey Mr. Potato Head here, a rhino Republican who used to be chairman of the Republican National Committee, and the chick on the other side who says we're not allowed to use the term illegal immigrants here on this program. Neither one of them are buying it. Good luck. Good luck to both of you. No, actually bad luck. You know, go soak your head. How about that? Did I play this? No, I haven't played this nice young lady here. Yeah, this is nice young lady evening. People waking up, young people.
All right, y'all. Listen, let me be one of the first black women that was a part of the 92 or the 93% that voted for Kamala to come out and just say it. I regret voting for Kamala. I really do. I regret voting for her. Already into Trump's presidency, not even a full month, and this man has already secured borders. He's already signing bills that are taking place that are uplifting this country. Me not doing my history and really, you know, being investigative and seeing all the things that Trump has done, and now having an eye-opener and really looking at this man and seeing exactly how this man works has really put something on my heart. And I don't know what I was thinking going in there voting for Kamala in the first place. I'm glad of the results. Don't get me wrong. I'm saying that I'm glad that Trump is in there, but me being so lost and participating into the whole Kamala run, and now taking a step back, looking at how this president here is really running things, and it hasn't even been a whole month, is something that I do think about. So, you know, I advise people that are in the Democratic Party, myself, to do your research. Really do your research, okay? Because I can definitely say that as a black woman, a part of the 93%, I made an error. I can admit that. I can take accountability and admit that.
All right. So that was good. And I try to look for those and copy them when I can and play them when I can. so people will know they're not alone. To come on over the water is fine. And, I want to show the creepos, the phony, well, at least Carville isn't trying to put up a fake like that Norm Eisen guy. They're getting overwhelmed. They don't see a way out. Here's Rachel Madcow. I got a couple of her. Let's see, which one do I want to play first? This business with AOC mouthing off, telling people how to get out of, how to avoid ICE, and Ilhan Omar. Did you know that Hochul canceled her visit with Trump? And he's being nice to her. He's being nice to everybody. He's cool, calm, and collected. They're the ones that are freaking out. But Rachel Maddow is trying to get Hochul to say that she is going to remove Eric Adams from office. And watch how Hochul handles it. I'd like to be a fly on the wall with what's going on with a lot of these big-name Democrats. But anyway, this is what Rachel's trying to do, trying to get her to get rid of Eric Adams, somebody who knows where all the bodies are buried in New York.
What we've just seen with the resignation of the U.S. attorney, the Trump-appointed acting U.S. attorney, the removal of line prosecutors on that case, the demand from Maine Justice to drop that case, the refusal from SDNY to do it, then the resignation of Maine Justice officials who had the case dumped on them, and they wouldn't take it either. This is just an incredible drama in terms of federal law enforcement right now. But you are in a very unusual position, a singular position with regard to this case, which is that thanks to the New York State Constitution and New York City law, you are the only person who has the power to effectively fire Mayor Eric Adams and remove him from this position, which might conceivably moot this whole fight. How are you thinking about that now? You could have done it at any point until now, but now, given this crisis that's emerged in federal law enforcement around this case, are you feeling differently about that responsibility?
Let me tell you from a couple of angles here. One is that this is unbelievably unprecedented for the Department of Justice in Washington to interfere in this way. My husband was a 30-year federal prosecutor. Barack Obama made him his United States attorney. You look at what happened here. This is not supposed to happen in our system of justice. The Bondi administration in that Department of Justice is already showing they're corrupt. Now, set that aside. I did see the letter that was issued by the acting United States attorney. The allegations are extremely concerning and serious.
Yes.
But I cannot, as the governor of this state, have a knee-jerk, politically motivated reaction like a lot of other people are saying right now. I have to do it smart, what's right, and I'm consulting with other leaders in government at this time. We've got to have one sane person in this state who can cut through all the crap and say, what is my responsibility? Guide me to do. And just as when the allegations came out last September, and the city was in chaos, I said, I will intercede, work with the mayor to get rid of a lot of people who are under indictment, calm it down, bring in a new police chief commissioner who's doing an outstanding job. Our subways are safer. People are feeling better around the city. More people are coming back. I don't want our rebirth to be stopped by this. I have to maintain stability and the chaos and do what's right for the city of New York, because as governor, I also represent the city. These are my constituents as well. I'm going to make sure they're protected here. So this just happened. I need some time to process this and figure out the right approach.
But you are consulting with other leaders, consulting with your advisors, and looking anew at this matter, given the recent developments.
Of course I am.
She's not going to touch it with a 10-foot pole. Pam Bondi told that prosecutor that quit because she was told to drop the charges against Eric Adams. She said, I resign, and wrote this big wordy letter about justice and all, when it's so obviously a political prosecution. And Pam Bondi wrote back and said, well, we're going to be checking at in so many words. We're going to be checking in on you, your actions, and your 3 buddies you mentioned in your letter that are protesting this. All of y'all are on leave, out of here, and expect to be hearing from us again, and don't erase any of your information. So Hochul isn't going to touch this with a 10-foot pole. And she backed out. She backed out of her meeting with Trump. And, maybe she thought she wasn't going to leave unless she was in cuffs or something. I don't know. But Trump is playing it cool. He's saying, hey, they're handling that in New York. I'm hearing about it. And he is actively doing so many other things that they can't really say, oh, it's all Trump, it's all Trump. So, yeah. Let's see. I'm just looking at the chats here. That's right, Todd. More worms than a clump of dirt. So anyway, how you doing, Andy? Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. So, Mr. T's got a massive, precise plan. This is laid out. Here is something somebody's going to call Pete Hegseth. This was in, where was this? I think somebody lost a bet. Let me see if I can find the text that went along with this video. I think it's in Texas. Anyway, wait a minute. Let me see. Stick with me. I'll find it. What is this? What is going on at this Air Force base? Oh, hell. I'll just play it. Somebody call Pete Hegseth. Something's going wrong at the Air Force. I don't know. I think he lost a bet. What? Maybe it's not as bad as it seems. Oh, this might be it right here. Let me see. Oh, yeah, it is. What's going on at New Mexico? Holman Air Force Base in New Mexico. What's going on? Dear Pete Hegseth. That's from Citizens Free Press is where I got that from. Like I said, I think he lost a bet. And I tell you, last night I was talking about a graph on searches for in D.C. WikiLeaks put this out. Washington, D.C. searches soar for Swiss bank, offshore bank, wiring money, and something called IBAN, if any of you all know what that means. But, that's the interest people had showing in Google in Washington, D.C. What is going to happen with Letitia James? Here she is. Colin Rugg put this out. New York Attorney General Letitia James rages after payments to the state of New York were halted by the Trump administration. I can't imagine what life must be like for this woman. She went from thinking she could put the final nail in the coffin for Trump to now being sued by Trump's own DOJ. You'll love to see it. Well, not only that, what was it? Mike Davis said, I'll put your fat ASS in jail if you keep screwing with Trump. So we'll see which way that ball bounces. Meanwhile, Trump's got work to do. Let Pam Bondi and Tom Homan and Pete Hegseth and Bobby Kennedy take care of the light work. I got to go President Putin has invited President Trump to Moscow for Russia's Victory Day parade. European media. Well, word on the street is by that time, the war should be over. The war should be over. I mean, the writing is on the wall. It's on the wall. Trump said he agrees with the idea of denying Ukraine NATO membership. I'm fine with it, he said. That's the way it's always been since the 1940s. Zelensky made a fundamental decision. This is what I talked about last night. To arrest Petro Poroshenko for, quote, high treason, unquote. Petro Poroshenko, just a quick refresher, is the person who worked the deal for Joe Biden to fire the prosecutor looking into Hunter Biden and Burisma, okay, and funneled 10% to the big guy, $90 million. Security forces are on duty outside Petro Poroshenko's house. In the morning, the former president of the Ukraine may be charged with treason and detained. Well, I reported on that last night, and don't you know that probably while we were having our little conversation last night, that somebody sent a missile into the hardened shell covering the danger area of Chernobyl. But Zelensky reported it that a Russian drone, you know, remember when the war started, the first place that troops were sent to was to secure Chernobyl, Russian troops. And the Chernobyl incident is kind of like Russia's 9/11. I mean, it was horrible. A lot of people, heroic people, lost their lives securing this nuclear facility from having a meltdown. Why would they blow it up? But Zelensky reported a Russian drone allegedly attacked the sarcophagus of the very fourth power unit of the Chernobyl nuclear plant last night, probably while we were doing our broadcast. According to the enemy, the shelter was seriously damaged, but the radiation level was not elevated. An amazing coincidence, just a miracle. So, somebody ordered something to happen, okay? Somebody ordered something. U.S. imposes sanctions on the International Criminal Court. Prosecutor Karim Khan, who issued an arrest warrant for Putin. So Trump put sanctions on the International Court, which is where Jack Smith comes from, right? U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance expects that negotiations to resolve the conflict in Ukraine will lead to a shocking deal. Quote, I think there will be a deal that will shock a lot of people, he told the Wall Street Journal. He added that the U.S. President Donald Trump has, quote, no blinders on, unquote. Trump, will say, quote, everything is on the table, let's negotiate, Vance says. And you know Trump, he'll come in from a position of strength. Some goofy judge, I talked about it earlier, put a hold on this transgender nonsense that Trump wants to wipe out. So, and said they couldn't take down websites until an appeal was heard. Well, this is what the Trump administration put on the websites this weirdo judge ordered to remain up. Says, any information on this page promoting gender ideology is extremely inaccurate and disconnected from the immutable biological reality that there are two sexes, male and female. The Trump administration rejects gender ideology and condemns the harms it causes to children by promoting their chemical and surgical mutilation, and to women by depriving them of their dignity, safety, and well-being and opportunities. This page does not reflect the biological reality, and therefore the administration and this department reject it. So it is going to be taken down, but it's like Trump says, these goofball judges are just slowing up the works, but we'll get there. We will get there. What do y'all make of this? Citizen Free Press reports mouthy California Democrat Congressman Robert Garcia entered the U.S. illegally. Okay, that ties into what we were discussing about Ilhan Omar and Rashida Tlaib, about what is their lawful status if they are inciting people to do violent protests, if they're inciting people or giving advice for them to, are they aiding and abetting people to be in this country illegally? Anyway, Garcia is the first LGBTQ immigrant in Congress. His intersectional upbringing as a Latino, gay, and formerly undocumented immigrant is powerful. He came in here illegally. He's a criminal, and he is in government. Okay, we got to do something about that, folks. They are going to eat our lunch and pop the bag in our face, as I've said many times before. So, something about this, here it is. This place right here, Iron Mountain. You all heard about it. The only entrance, this is where they say everybody's Social Security information is kept. Okay? And it is getting interest from people because turns out that they've got digital imaging of the statues on Easter Island, and so people are starting to look at this like it might be a creepy place. The only entrance is protected by 2 waves of armed guards. If you have something which you consider priceless, then this is the place for it. The Iron Mountain is home to the most secret vaults in the world. It contains 1.7 million square feet of vaults. It contains some of the world's most important and secret documents and things like Edison's patented rights for the incandescent bulb. Most of the names of the people who own the vaults are not even disclosed. So that is raising eyebrows, along with this article here. Hyperscale. I don't trust anything that happened during the Biden administration. Hyperscale software firm signs 2.4, is that megawatt, or I don't know what the hell it is, lease for Iron Mountain Boyas Data Center. Company signs 10-year lease in underground Pennsylvania facility. A leading hyperscale enterprise software provider signed a 2.4 MW data center lease with Iron Mountain. The unnamed company will deploy at Iron Mountain's WPA-1 data center in Boyers, Pennsylvania, and has existing deployments at other Iron Mountain data centers. This lease is expected to commence the first quarter of 2022, under the middle of the Biden administration, and has a term of 10 years. Who are the, well, I guess Doge is going to go in there and find out about it. Somebody better find out about it. So I don't know who's going to celebrate this, but Social Security checks, Social Security $5,100 checks tomorrow. Who's eligible? I believe this is where Biden put out the triple dip, where people in government get a benefit on top of all the great many other benefits, something he passed just before he left office. I don't know, but I'm sure whatever it is, Trump is going to be on top of it. If it's unfair, he'll balance it out somehow. I don't think I know he doesn't want to hurt people. He wants Americans to be wealthy, okay, and comfortable in their lives. Oh, I was going to read this. I'll save this for another. It's Bobby Kennedy's speech when he got confirmed. And I just thought it was great. I thought it was really respectful. And I'll read it one day where we got, not at the end of a broadcast. New York Post put this up. New York City high school teacher launches anti-Trump tirade at student in leaked audio, then resigns. So, just one more thing to put another cherry on the cake that these people are losing their grip, okay? And they're not rational. They don't have any rational strategies. Trump is moving forward, not skipping a beat. It's driving them crazy, even crazier than they were at the beginning, okay? So, I got a video I want to play for you all that I want to close out with. And, oh, no, I got one more here. Rachel Madcow. I keep thinking that they're going to step in it. They're going to collapse under the weight of their own illegality, okay? Here she is accusing Musk of something, okay? Don't forget, lawsuits are very powerful for slander and libel.
Elon Musk has apparently somehow convinced the United States government, specifically the United States Department of State, that the taxpayers of the United States of America should spend $400 million buying, quote, armored Tesla production units. Isn't it great and definitely not at all illegal or profoundly corrupt? Definitely not ripping us all off to pay themselves, right?
Donald Trump didn't give that contract to Elon Musk. Joe Biden gave it to him.
Okay, what do you got to say about that, Rachel Madcow? What do you got to say about that? I'm going to do a mountain man prediction. All right, folks. I think that Donald Trump is going to make one of the greatest speeches in American history. And I'm going to predict where that speech is going to be. And I just see it on the horizon. I'm going to say that he's going to give the speech sometime before the celebration for our 250th anniversary, which is 2026. Okay, can you all guess where he's going to give that monumental speech? To the world. And it's a famous place. It's going to be one of many momentous speeches, but this one is going to be to the world. So let's see if anybody can guess where it is, because the video I'm going to play as I go out has a picture of the location and where another very famous president gave a speech. So I'll see if anybody guesses. Hebrew Hammer, how you doing? So you say Israel? No, it's not going to be Israel. Just beans. Says Canal. Philadelphia, Todd says. Sissy said Mount Rushmore. Miss Menderson said I saw a boom up there from Miss Menderson. And I want to thank Mike and Bev for helping sponsor tonight's broadcast. I didn't have any sponsors of the other broadcast, but this one I did. I thank you, Mike and Bev. And we're closing out the second week. And Gary helped out this week, Miss Mendersue and Mike and Bev. I appreciate it. At Buy Me a Coffee. I've got a link in the description if anyone wants help. And I forgot through the whole broadcast to ask you all to give me a thumbs up. So if you could do that for me, or thumbs down if you didn't like it. Raven said Gettysburg. Hi, Ian. How you doing? Angie gave me a bunch of pow, pow, boom. Bambi. Let's see. Debbie said the same place he did before. Well, I'm going to tell you, I'll give you all a hint. It's somewhere that Barack Obama wanted to give a speech and he was turned down. He was not permitted to give the speech. And while you all are thinking about it, I'm going to pull a video up that I'm going to play on my way out. Because I think it signifies something big that is going to come. Something big is going to come. And I want to give you all a chance to make a guess, but I want to explain what I mean. Because I said before that the Secret Service is in charge of international money laundering, correct? Correct? And they're looking for a lot of new people. Television shows says Lincoln Memorial. Pappy Two Bears said Ted Nugent's ranch. No, it's not Mount Rushmore, Miss Mendersue, but it's a good guess. But Barack Obama was turned down when everybody was kissing his rear end. They gave him a Nobel Peace Prize when he started just as many wars as anybody else. Colette, how you doing? Said Mount Rushmore. This is overseas. And I will give you all a big hint. 2 presidents gave a speech there. Dixie says JFK Memorial. Raven Swing said Delegate Washington. Television show said Kennedy Center. 2 presidents gave a speech there, very famous speeches. And Obama wanted to give a speech at the same location, and he was told by the government in charge, no way, Jose, you haven't earned that yet. Exactly right. Boom, Todd got it. Brandenburg Gate. So you all are my witness. That is a prediction I'm making. JFK said, Ich bin ein Berliner. I am a Berliner. And the crowd went crazy at Brandenburg Gate. At the time Kennedy gave his speech, the Berlin Wall was standing. And there was no hope in sight of that wall ever coming down. The first time in modern history, a wall built by human beings to keep other human beings in, like cattle. Andy Z4 YouTube, please remove that letter, as you'll get my channel in trouble. Remove it by yourself, and I appreciate you being here, but you can't put stuff like that in there. You got to use, like, spell it C-U-E or something else. Let me know when you take it down, because if you don't, I have to take it down, and that might knock you out of the channel, and we don't want that, do we? And the other president who gave a speech at Brandenburg Gate was Ronald Reagan. Ronald Reagan, a very famous speech. Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall. And like I said, even after into his second term, Obama wanted to give a speech at Brandenburg Gate and was turned down by German officials. He had not met the stature and the consequence of a John F. Kennedy or a Ronald Reagan. Donald Trump will meet that stature, and he'll give a speech at Brandenburg Gate. That's my prediction. Thank you. All you got to do, Andy, is hit the 3 buttons, press on your comment, 3 buttons, and you can remove it yourself. Please do me that favor. Because if I do it, it takes you out of the chats for good. But anyway, Colette, aren't you listening? Brandenburg Gate, sweetheart. Brandenburg Gate is the place that it'll play. This is a video that a lot of people won't play. It is a from the Secret Service looking for a new recruits to come apply to help our president in his mission. And as I said, among their many responsibilities, tracking down and prosecuting criminal international money laundering is under the purview of the United States Secret Service. Castle Rock, remember that also. Brandenburg Gate and Castle Rock. So I'll play this video for you. I hope you all enjoy it. And I want to thank you all for spending your precious time with me. And I'll be seeing you soon. If something big happens, I'll broadcast tomorrow. If you're subscribed and hit the notification bell, you'll know when I go live. And you can join us in the chats. Or watch afterwards. All the people that watch afterwards, tell me a little something in the comments what you think's going on. And I enjoy reading your comments. You all have a great night. Enjoy this video. This is Mountain Man. Over and out.
America was founded on an idea of freedom. America's always stepped forward in time of need throughout our short but powerful history.
Ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country. Tear down this wall.
We've been there for all of it.
150.
A second plane hit the tower.
Our heroes are humble. They have an inner pride to keep this idea alive. Protectors are born, they're not made. Secret Service protecting this Super Bowl is asking a few more to step forward.